Hello. In this example, we want to simplify radicals. Should be fractions with radicals, radicals with fractions. Yeah, either way. Number one, simplify the radical if possible. Number two, pull apart the larger fraction to make two smaller fractions. And number three, reduce each smaller fraction if possible. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to simplify the following expression. -6 minus the square root of -24 all over 2. This is important because it's a very common form that you're going to have to simplify in this class. So, looking at this, let's go ahead and work with the radical. Notice that with the radical, we have the square root of -24, and that's it. And that's what I want to work with first. And remember, when working with radicals, the very first thing you're going to do is look at the negative underneath the radical. Because there's a negative underneath the radical, it needs to go on the outside as an I. And notice that I went ahead and just put the I right there before this negative sign. It's very important. All over 2. Now the next thing we need to do to simplify the radical is to simplify the square root of 24. So with the 24, we need its prime factors. The prime factorization, well, how about 2 and 12? And then 12 gives us, let's go with 2 and 6. And 6 gives us a 2 and 3. And again, we're working with the square root, which means that we're looking for pairs of things. So I'm going to go ahead and circle 2 of the 2's together. So 2 of the 2's, 2 2's. Yes, I did just say 2 2. Anyway, notice that I don't circle this 2 here because it doesn't have another 2 to go along with it. So it's very important that you only circle 2 items at a time. So let's multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. So you should think of 24 as 4 times 6. So this is going to give me -6 minus I square root of 4 times 6 all over 2. Excellent. Now let's break this radical up into 2 separate radicals, and that's going to give me -6 minus I square root of 4 square root of 6 all over 2. And then the square root of 4 is just 2, and I'm going to go ahead and put it to the left of the I immediately. And that's going to give me -6 minus 2I square root of 6, and all over 2. Good. What we've just done is we have just simplified the square root of -24 as 2I square root of 6. It's very similar to what we just got through doing. Now we need to simplify this expression. This expression can be simplified easiest by breaking this up into 2 separate radicals, because you should be able to see this as, 2 separate fractions. Here's a fraction, and here's a fraction. This will give me -6 over 2, and then this minus here gives me a minus, and then 2I square root of 6 all over 2. And at this point, we just simplify. So be very careful. Well, this one's actually pretty easy. -6 over 2 is just -3. Minus, and then over here, we have to be very careful. Remember this. Radicals affect other radicals. That's it. Okay, so only radicals affect other radicals. Notice that this 2 is not underneath a radical, so it can only affect stuff that is not underneath a radical as well. So this 2 and this 2 can affect each other, so 2 divided by 2 is 1, and we have no more fraction, or we have no more fractions here. So it's going to leave us with I square root of 6. And there you go. That is your answer. That is your simplified form of the expression. Excellent. I'll see you in the next video. Have fun.